Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of CarnivorousGrama Speaks. So happy to be back with you guys this Saturday. My name is Robin Heron, and I am your carnivorous grandma. And I missed you guys last weekend, but hopefully you picked up on my Monday night, um, Tuesday night show with Dr. Sean Baker. So that kind of took the place of my Saturday night show. So hopefully you guys have checked that out. And I'll make sure that I drop a link to that into the show notes of this show. I'm also pulling a couple little shorts from that, and it was a great interview with him, and it was really nice to meet him. So glad that he was able to come and be on Carnivorous Grandma Speaks, chatting with doctors. Tonight is it's still World Carnivore Month. We are heading toward the end of World Carnivore Month. So I kind of wanted to talk about some of the questions that, um, if you're new to carnivore, you may have around the carnivore way of eating. So we're going to look at 10 questions tonight pertaining to questions that you may have. If you joined World Carnivore Month as a new carnivore. So, you may or may not know that I have been carnivore for almost 3 years. February 22nd, 2026 will be my 3-year carniversary. And so I've been doing this for a little while. And, I still feel like a newbie sometimes still. So, but there's some questions that people have. And so I kind of wanted to come in here and talk about that tonight. So if you wouldn't mind, just drop in the chat where you are watching from tonight. And certainly, if you have any questions for me, you can feel free to drop those into the chat also. But yeah, it's World Carnivore Month. And actually, Dr. Sean Baker, who was on my show on Tuesday, he was the person who actually brought World Carnivore Month to life. He was like the guy who wrote the book on carnivore. And so if you guys are interested in his book, that is out there. But he's coined this phrase, World Carnivore Month. And back in the day, they didn't really call this carnivore the way they do today. It was a zero carb way of eating, zero sugar diet. If you guys remember back when they had different ones called sugar busters and people who were eliminating sugar from their way of eating. And that really is what a primarily animal based way of eating does, is that it does eliminate sugar from your way of eating because, well, we have a problem with overconsumption of sugar. So, as you guys are coming in tonight, well, I'm getting some trolls. Y'all, you don't know when the trolls come, it's like, oh my gosh, we have arrived. We got trolls in the chat. So anyway, some questions that new carnivores ask. Um, and I pulled 10 questions and I wanted to kind of go through these. So, you may or may not remember when you first started. If you have been carnivore for some time or have been primarily animal based, if you've been ketovore or keto, you may, struggle to remember what it was like to be a newbie just getting started, and how challenging that was. So, the first question that I want to talk about is what I'm feeling normal? And so I've already had to ban somebody. So, y'all be nice down in the comments because I've already had to ban somebody from this live stream tonight. All right. So, and the short answer is that your body is literally switching fuel systems. When you go from being what we like to term a sugar burner, that's a generalization of what's happened. We have been running on glucose since we were little kids, most of us, right? So you think about what happens when you're happy, when you're sad, always some sugar. I'm thinking about my granddaughter, y'all. Oh my gosh. She is a sugaraholic. So she's, running as a sugar burner. And what we want to do is transition from burning sugar for fuel or glucose for fuel to burning fat for fuel. We want to be able to burn the fat off of our bodies. That's really the objective of going, one of the objectives of going on a primarily meat based way of eating is to burn that fat off, right? So, yeah, your body mostly ran on sugar. So, what happens when you eliminate sugar? When you first start eliminating that, you might feel, you might feel tired. You might feel something what we call the keto flu or carnivore flu, where you feel kind of run down and fluish. You might feel a little low energy when you're switching over from burning glucose for fuel to burning fat for fuel, right? So during the transition period where your body is making this change, right, your insulin levels are going to drop. So I see somebody in the question asking me, hey Sharon, asking no Sharon saying hey Sharon, and then Francis is asking, what is this? We are talking about carnivore. So, yeah, we're talking about carnivore, the carnivore way of eating. We're talking about World Carnivore Month, which January is. And we are talking about questions that new carnivores may be asking as you are going into this transition, right? All right. So your insulin level is going to drop. And this is a generalization, right? But basically, what happens is when you add glucose into your system, that glucose causes your sugar to rise. We're talking about carbohydrates, cause your sugar to rise, which causes insulin to come out and chase those glucose down, and basically tries to bring the level of your glucose down to keep it within a normal range. Now, when you remove those sugars and carbohydrates from your way of eating, you don't need as much insulin to come out and to chase the glucose down because you don't have glucose in your system. You're not adding any in. Inflammation is reduced, right? So you're releasing fluid, extra water weight, we call it, um, that is released. It's released through urination. And then with that goes your electrolytes. So that is why we talk often about supplementing electrolytes for those who are new carnivores. Or if you start to feel any kind of rundown, sick, tired, like I feel like I'm catching a flu, those kinds of things would be indicators that you should incorporate electrolytes, sodium, magnesium, and potassium into your way of eating to basically eliminate keto flu. Okay. And so then we want to get into fat burning mode. It can take a while to get into fat burning, but I mean, it can literally take months to get into fat burning, depending on how metabolically flexible your body is. But those fat burning ketones will start arriving and allow you, so the ketones allow your body to burn fat for fuel. Okay. So, making sure that you are eating enough food. We always say, and if you guys listen to Dr. Barry, one of his mantras is eat until you are comfortably stuffed. When you're full, stop eating. And you eat meat until you are comfortably stuffed. And so making sure that you're eating enough, making sure that you're getting enough fat. So are you eating the fatty cut? Are you eating the sirloin steak or are you eating the ribeye? And if you're eating the sirloin, what kind of fat are you adding with that? Are you eating the chicken breast or are you eating the chicken thigh with the skin? And so we want to eat the fattiest cuts that we can find. So if you're eating, 93.7 ground beef, you need to be switching to 73, 30, whatever it is. Get the fattier ground beef. Right. So that is the thing, is that you want to make sure that you're eating enough fat, and then you're going to add that salt and electrolytes to your way of eating. So we're retraining our bodies. Retraining our metabolism from burning glucose to burning fat for fuel. Okay. All right. So, and let me know if you guys have any questions down in the chat. Hey, Darlene, I'm not sure if you're here. You were here a little bit earlier today, but Darlene is watching from Mansfield, Texas. She says she's a 90% carnivore, drinking coffee, and is an abstainer. I truly can say that I am not. I'm an abstainer. I'm not a moderator, like a person who can dibble and dabble, try this and that, a little bit of sweet here, a little bit of cake there, and cat pies, cookies, chips, all that stuff. I can't dabble in that stuff. So I am an abstainer like Darlene, and I'm not a moderator. So tonight the topic is I'm answering questions new carnivores ask during World Carnivore Month. All right. So, another question that a lot of people have is what's going on with my scale? Like, why is my scale not moving? And I will tell you guys, when I started carnivore, I lost 20 pounds in my first 3 months. I'm pretty, I guess I'm fairly close to my goal weight. Yes. But when I started, I lost 20 pounds within the first 3 months. And then I kind of maintained for quite a long time, probably a year or more. And I was asking this question, like, what is happening with this scale? Why isn't the scale moving? Like, and then I realized the scale is a lie, first of all, and that carnivore is a health protocol. It is for healing, right? And so healing may come first before fat loss. Now, I've definitely reshaped my body. I've lost more weight since I started, and I'm pretty close to my goal weight. But the healing, oh my gosh, the healing is absolutely incredible. All the different things that have healed. I'll start out with just a couple of them. So, IBS and my eczema that I had 2 black eyes. Let me see if I can bring this picture up. So I have a picture here. It's kind of a summary of all the issues that I had with my eczema, and hopefully you guys can see this okay. Would have these eczema breakouts often, often. But what you can see here down in the bottom 2 middle pictures, this is the way that my face looked because I had these 2 black eyes and then I had this dark ring around my mouth always, no matter how much weight I gained or lost. And that was something that never went away until carnivore. Now, you guys can look at my face. You can see that I don't have that anymore. And it's been gone for quite some time now. So, eczema was a big problem. And the other eczema that I had was dyshydrotic eczema. And I still do deal with this sometimes. And I'll bring that picture up for you guys. So, dyshydrotic eczema on the hands, where my hands and feet, my hands would blister, the skin would peel off. It was really, really horrible. And I would basically like not want to touch anything because my hands were like a hamburger meat. That's what they looked like. And they were just raw, and so this cleared up on carnivore. And I had never, I mean, I went to many doctors, many, many doctors to try to get this resolved. They said it's not food related. The dermatologist was like, get some sunshine, take these steroid shots, take steroids and all the different kind of creams and ointments and stuff. And that stuff just did not work. It really did not work. Though I continued to use it religiously. I used those creams on my face. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh, I haven't put that on in a while. And look, my face is clearing up. So, yeah, the healing comes first. Healing comes first. And your body will reshape itself with or without the scale acknowledging that. So I noticed a few things that, my body was getting smaller, my clothes were not fitting anymore, even though the scale wasn't really moving. And so I think that we should consider this way of eating as a healing protocol if you have metabolic health issues, if you have something like insulin resistance or metabolic syndrome, even type 2 diabetes. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to diagnose or, treat you. But what I will say is that many, many people are healing their metabolic issues with this primarily meat based way of eating. The proper human diet, some call it carnivore, ketovore, keto, all those different ketogenic way of eating, right? And so what happens is your insulin stays high when you are primarily burning glucose, or as I just said, right? So your insulin's high and your fat is locked away in the cells. So you're not really able to release it, and it's a hormone signaling thing. So your hormones are what are going to allow you to be able to release that fat, allow your cells to open up to release the fat. And so what happens is carnivore does lower your insulin, and your body reduces inflammation, it rebalances your hormone, it does tissue repair, does all these healing processes, and then fat loss is secondary. Now, I will say that there are a lot of people. I was just talking to somebody that said that they lost like 38 pounds within the first couple of months on carnivore. That's pretty incredible. That's actually really, really good. And so, yes, you can lose a lot of weight. There's people who have lost hundreds of pounds. I mean, we think about Bill Knott. I don't know if you guys know Bill Knott, but Bill out in Alaska who lost half of himself. He's half the person that he was when he started. And so, yes, people do lose a lot of weight on carnivore for sure. So I'm not going to say that it doesn't do that, but healing has to be your primary thing. So when you think about your big why, and if you've done a lot of dieting like I have, and I've gone up and down over the years many, many times, my why of losing weight was never big enough for me to actually keep that weight off. I kept going back and forth and around in circles and up and down on the yo-yo diet roller coaster. And, until I found carnivore, which has been such a life-changing thing. So, I do see a question out here from Fire Nation Official. Do I believe that mental health is heavily involved in this? I do believe that carnivore is an amazing mental health protocol for a lot. So, if you guys are interested in reading a book, you can read the book Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind by Dr. Georgia Ede. And that book will talk a lot about the benefits of ketogenic diets or ketogenic way of eating for mental health. So, absolutely, I absolutely do believe that a carnivore way of eating can really, really help with mental health. I will touch on just briefly on my personal mental health because I had severe, severe anxiety. Like, to the point where I was not going to be able to leave my house. I was not able to drive my car. I would get freaked out by shadows. It was just really, really kind of crazy. And then I had also these racing thoughts. I would tell people, don't call me. Do not make my phone ring. If you want something, to send me a text because I'm sure that something terrible has happened if you call. And that would be the first thought. Every time my phone would ring, I would think, oh God, something has happened. And I realized that carnivore soothed all those racing thoughts, and that severe, severe anxiety, not being able to function in normal life. It cleared it up. And so that has been really, really a game changer for me. And I know that for a lot of people, depression and bipolar and schizophrenia, all these different mental health conditions, even ADD, ADHD, those types of things are being, addressed with a primarily meat-based way of eating. So absolutely 100%, I believe that mental health can be touched by this. And Simpson is saying the same. It absolutely heals mental health for sure, for sure. Um, and then Simpson is asking, when is my 3-year anniversary? It is going to be February 22nd. I will be live on that day for sure at some point, because we gotta celebrate and talk about, the game changer that 3 years of animal-based eating has been. And people, I mean, if you're not a carnivore and you're looking like, "What? What is she talking about? How can she just eat only meat? That doesn't it just doesn't make sense," or, "I don't even like meat that much." Okay, but if you have health-related issues, you should definitely try it. You should definitely try it. Alright. So, yeah, so definitely. That is my 3-year anniversary, and I'm very, very excited about it. All right. So, question number 3 is, do I need to fast to make this work? The answer to that is the short answer is no. You do not need to fast to make this work. Um, in fact, fasting can be quite difficult if you are a sad diet person, or if you're a person who eats a lot of carbohydrates. Fasting can be quite challenging. However, when you go onto an animal-based way of eating, um, primarily meat-based way, you will find that you're going to fast naturally, automatically. You're going to be less hungry. You will not be having those glucose spikes throughout the day that cause you to need a snack every couple of hours. Definitely, you do not need to fast, but your body is definitely going to get to the place where you'll start to like go from 3 meals a day plus 3 snacks down to, 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day. Some people do eat 3 meals a day, but a lot of people that are on primarily meat-based way of eating only eat a couple of times a day and no snacking. And so that is really, really typical. I say again, when you're first starting out, you really need to be eating. You need to eat enough and you need to be fully satiated. So you're going to eat until you get full. You'll eat when you're hungry. So when you're first getting started, if you need to eat 3, 4 times a day to get full and satiated, you can do that, but automatically your body will start to get into this place that, where fasting is not it's not difficult. I'm just coming off of a 21-day intermittent style fasting with my church, and, basically, we were fasting from midnight to 3 p.m. Now, who's eating at midnight? Are y'all eating at midnight? I could not bring myself to eat anything at midnight, but I'm fasting probably from 6, 5 or 6 to 6 p.m. till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's a pretty good long fast, and time for going without eating, and it's relatively easy to do on this way of eating. All right. So, my next question is, why do I feel one great one day and awful the next? So, your body is learning to transition from burning primarily glucose for fuel to primarily fat for fuel. So some people do get that keto flu. Some feel people don't feel well, and so make sure that you're utilizing your electrolytes for sure. But your body really is used to it. It's used to burning this glucose, and I'm calling it burning, but it doesn't really burn, right? It's an enzymatic process. But yeah, so our body is familiar with that. And now we're trying to convert over to utilizing a fat burning system, and our body is rusty. So if you think about this, babies are born in ketosis, which is burning fat for fuel, and most babies are, and we since then have been incorporating sugar, additional added sugar into their way of eating, particularly if we are bottle feeding. So we're starting out with that. What do we do on baby's first birthday? We give them a cake. They eat a whole cake or as much of that sugar as they can. When you're potty training your baby, what are you doing? You're giving them I don't know, maybe a little, what are the called? I can't even remember the name of that stuff. Hershey's Kisses or gummy bears or something sweet. So your body is really, really used to burning sugar for fuel. And so as it's like spitting and sputtering, like think about your car. Sometimes it's right, like right now it's super cold. What's the weather like where you are? It's super cold. So people's cars are like, I'm not going to be able to start. And so our bodies are doing something like that. So we're transitioning, and that's what we really need to think about, is that we are transitioning. If you don't want to feel bad, make sure that you're getting enough salt and make sure that you are utilizing your electrolytes, and you're going to feel pretty good. You'll feel pretty good. All right, what am I supposed to be eating on my carnivore way of eating? Am I doing this wrong if I don't eat a lot of beef, or if I'm not a lion diet person and I'm not eating beef only? Eat all the meats, whatever meat you like. And I'm going to just kind of paraphrase Dr. Berry here again, because he says, you could eat bologna and hot dogs, and it's better than eating those carbohydrates, those highly processed packaged foods. Bologna, hot dogs, potted meat, if that's what you can afford, eat that. Right? So beef is very, very nutrient dense though. So beef is really like the best bang for your buck when you think about eating meat. But if you like variety, like I kind of like variety sometimes. Last night I had chicken wings for dinner, but I also added 2 burger patties with it. And so, you know, beef is really, really good. It's the top of the line as far as that's concerned. And if you can go grass fed, grass finished beef, that's really good. But that stuff is expensive. It is. If you can eat Wagyu, that's really good. It's high fat, it's expensive. So eat what you can afford, as long as it's meat. You can do eggs, you could do seafood, you can do chicken, you can do pork. I like to eat a lot of bacon, as you know. I'm a bacon person. And so, what are we really talking about here? We are talking about removing sugar from our way of eating. That is the key thing, removing sugar. And what does it look like to remove sugar? We are eliminating carbohydrates. Carbohydrate equals sugar. So keep that in mind when you think about, fruits. Look at the carbohydrate count. Just Google it and ask Google how much carbohydrate is in this orange that I'm about to eat. It's a lot. It's sugar, it's fructose. And so that's a little bit challenging. It's very challenging for your body to deal with because our bodies can only handle one additional added teaspoon of sugar. 1 teaspoon, which is 4 carbohydrates. So anytime you're over that, your body is literally fighting for its life, trying to eliminate um, trying to eliminate this sugar out of your body. It is chasing. I use the Pac-Man analogy because it really helps me to visualize. I eat an orange, or maybe I drink some orange juice, right? What's going to happen? Immediately, my blood glucose is going to spike. What happens then? Then the insulin comes out. I look at it like Pac-Man's. It's coming out to try to grab those glucose molecules, right? Grab them and stuff it into your fat cells. So if you're looking at the fat that's on your body, how did it get there? It got there because you had too much glucose in the system, and your thank you, Alitra of cola. Thank you very much. I like these glasses. Anyway, yeah. So basically, we need to eliminate sugar. And the way that I eliminate sugar is I don't eat any fruits. I don't eat any vegetables. I don't, because carbohydrate equals sugar. Even if you're looking at a vegetable, I want you to go and look up the carbohydrate count of your vegetable. I use green beans as an example a lot of times because green beans are very low carb. If you eat a 1 serving of green beans, it's like 6 grams of carbohydrates, for one serving, a half cup serving. Now, you eat 6 carbohydrates. Your body can only handle 4. So even if you're just eating green beans, you're eating too many carbohydrates. Now, if you're eating grains and rice and potatoes, all these starchy vegetables and um, pasta and all of that stuff, you're getting like 50 something carbohydrates per serving in a serving of pasta. If you're drinking a pop, let's say a Pepsi, right? You're getting like 50, 60 carbohydrates in a Pepsi. That's crazy. I mean, if you think about it, it really is crazy if your body can only handle 4, and then you're adding in with just one item, you're adding in 10 times that amount, 15 times that amount. It's just your body's literally fighting for its life. So, eat meat and salt and eat the fatty cut of the meat. Add some beef fat. And, a lot of people say, "Well, I can't really tolerate beef. Beef makes my stomach hurt." I think it's not the beef that's making your stomach hurt. It's probably the fiber that you have been adding with, all of the different carbohydrates that you're eating. So, unless you have something like alpha-gal, like my friend, Emily, then your body will transition and you will be able to eat it. Some people like lamb or goat or some other ruminant animal like bison or things like that. Those are really good as well. Ruminant animals are the best. Hey Rick, I see you out there. And so Simpson is let me see, I did have another chat over here. Bucci Maine. Oh my gosh, come on, I like that name. This sounds awesome. I'll be listening while working. I'm so glad that you are here, Bucci Maine. Thank you for coming in. And Simpson says the fruits in modern society isn't like it was. They have bred them to be carb bombs. You think about that. I even think about when I was a kid, and y'all know I'm getting old. I'm going to be 60 this year. But when I was a kid, my grandmother used to grow apples. She had apple trees in her yard. Those apples were probably this big. Okay. The apples now are this big, right? And they're very, very sweet. Yes. So they are genetically modified to be extremely sweet. And all the fruits are very, very sweet. They got something called a cotton candy grape. Have y'all tried that? It came out after I went carnivore, so I've never tried it. It sounds insane, like a cotton candy grape. They have genetically modified all of this food to be the size that it is and also to be the sweetness that it is. So that's absolutely right, Simpson. Thank you. And Rick says it's duck food. It's all duck food. You better believe it. So stay away from those processed packaged foods. It's all duck food. I agree, Rick. I see George Good enough here. Hey, George. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The words all carbs are sugar from a fantastic nurse called Kathy Moran saved my life. Tickets and holiday in booked for Impact. Woohoo! All right, I guess we'll talk about Impact. And I'm looking forward to seeing you as well, George. Yes. So Impact 2026 is on the agenda. We're going to talk about it now since George brought it up. Impact 2026 is going to be held in Kalamazoo, Michigan. It is Impact Meet Up and Eat Up with Carnivorous Grandma and Friends, September 5th, 2026, Kalamazoo, Michigan. And you guys can go to my website. Early bird tickets are available. Okay. All right. Get your early bird ticket, and it's going to be a little bit less expensive, but early bird registration is only going to be available till February 15th. So please get your tickets early, and you guys can go to my website and you'll see all the information about that. And my website is scrolling on the page, and I'll show you guys the flyer at the end of this at the end of this live stream. Awesome. Thank you, George, for bringing that up. All right. So Simpson said I had meat aversion at first, probably because of my history of veganism. Yes. You think about my friend G. She was a vegan as well, and she could not stand the smell of beef when she first went carnivore. Now, she was like, her husband started carnivore one day. She started the next day or 2 days later because she's like, he's not going without me. And so she went, directly from vegan to carnivore. And the only thing that meat that she was tolerating was lamb chops at that time. And so she could not stand the smell of beef. But look at my girl now. She is eating beef like a champ. I've never been a vegan. I could never bring myself to do it. Now, what I will say is that I have done like a Daniel fast. Oh my gosh. All I remember about Daniel, now I'm a good cook. So everything tasted delicious, but the gas, like, do carnivores have gas? Somebody drop down in the chat. Let me know. Do carnivores have gas? But the gas was outrageous on the Daniel fast. A lot of sugar in that way of eating. So, no, you are not doing it wrong if you're not eating beef only. You may at some point want to try, experiment, which is what I love to do. I love to do lots of experimentation, try things out. I tried a lion diet, and I did not feel my best on purely beef only, but I'll probably try it again at some point. Yes. Dustin is here. Hey, Dustin. So glad you are here. Thank you for stopping by. All right. Here's our next question. Should I worry about cholesterol? Should I worry about cholesterol? So, cholesterol is a big question, right? But there is this cholesterol heart health fallacy out here. Cholesterol is needed in every single cell of your body. You need cholesterol. That's why your body makes it. And so, a lot of times people will go, their cholesterol will go up when they get on carnivore. So you need some interpretation of your cholesterol results. Um, and you need to get and understand what the cholesterol results should look like for a person who is on a primarily meat-based way of eating, right? So cholesterol is how fat, it's a transporter. It moves your fat through the bloodstream, and we need to understand the context in which your cholesterol is high, low, whatever it is. When you burn more fat, then your cholesterol transport does increase. Your LDL can rise. Triglycerides usually fall, and then HDL usually rises. So this is kind of just a real glossing over of cholesterol. I'm not going to go into the cholesterol in detail, but I say, first of all, no matter what your cholesterol is, don't take a statin. That's what I would say. As a non-doctor, I'm not prescribing I'm not prescribing anything to you, but I'm telling you, I would never take a statin. I don't care what my cholesterol numbers were. So the pattern that we're looking at, we want to look at our um, LDL, our triglycerides to HDL ratio. That is the ratio that we should be looking at. And and uh and then, we can make some determinations. I'm not going to give any numbers today. All right. So, our heart disease risk is driven by insulin resistance and inflammation, not meat intake. If you look at the new nutritional guidelines, you will see they have put red meat back on the plate. If you look at that upside down pyramid, what you will see in the very top left corner, if you read from left to right, it's ribeye first. Ribeye first. So, yeah, we want to use our fuel better. We don't want to overload our systems with a lot of glucose and, be able to burn that fat off. So sometimes you'll get some fluctuations in your cholesterol levels when you get started on carnivore. Work with your coach, and I'm coaching if anybody's interested. Um, you can send me an email. You see my email address down there as well. If you're interested in hearing, kind of learning more about my coaching practice, work with your coach or, work with somebody who's in the know about carnivore and ketogenic way of eating to understand better what's going on with your cholesterol. All right. So, I did ask a question about gas, and Dustin is saying no matter what, you'll end up with gas at some point. It's significantly less, but you'll always have some gas. Some people don't get too much gas on a meat-based way of eating for sure. Listen to this, George. This is wild. I turned 60 in September. I'm back to my 18-year-old weight and energy, now just a bit short in the hair department and not as flexible, right? I know, right? My hair used to be super, super thick. Carnivore has totally turned my life around, mind and body. 100%, completely. Same here, George. Absolutely. And so, yes, you may have a little bit of gas, but I can tell you, when I think about that doggone Daniel fast, that was super memorable. It was very memorable. So the gas was outrageous. And so, yeah, I don't really get gas very much unless I get something that's like weird when I eat out. Sometimes I'll get that, but not too often. All right. Let's go to the next question. Let me know if you guys have a question. All right. My digestion changed. What is happening? Okay. So your gut microbiome, I'll tell you, when I started carnivore, I decided that I was going to do 90 days. And I'm so glad I did. Because if I would have said 30 days, I probably would have quit and I wouldn't receive all the benefits that I've received from it. But I had gut dysfunction. I had gut dysfunction when I started carnivore. So your gut is definitely have that gut microbiome is definitely adjusting and it is transitioning. And so basically, you might find that you have some loose stools. You might find that you don't go to the bathroom as often as you used to. Your stool volume may decrease. The frequency is going to maybe change. You might not feel the bloating and that kind of thing. Um, and so, listen to this: plant foods create bulk and gas because they ferment in the gut. Now, I know that Dr. Kiltz talks about this, how you get basically making alcohol fermentation in the gut with that plant matter. And so it's kind of crazy. But yes, your gut microbiome is changing over. And and so you may have some changes in your digestion for sure. So, if you're having loose stools, the lever that you're going to use is fat. Reduce your fat consumption. If you're having constipation, the lever that you're going to use is fat. You're going to have more fat, more salt, drink more water. All right. So, we just want to make sure that we are understanding the levers that we have to use to deal with that. Now, if you're having some more difficulty than that, work with your coach and then they can help you to try to experiment and figure things out. All right. George is saying the normal range for cholesterol is based on an unhealthy population. We are the healthy ones and our cholesterol levels are higher. Back in the day, the recommended cholesterol levels were a lot higher than what they are today. And so what happened? I'm going to tell y'all, I'm a conspiracy theorist a little bit, just a little bit. The drug companies came out with these drugs called statins to lower your cholesterol based on a fallacy, a heart health cholesterol myth. It's not true. And so those higher cholesterol levels that were back in the day Now they've lowered and lowered and lowered it, and then they give you a drug to keep driving it down, and we're getting all kinds of problems. Like, what did I just hear recently about dementia and Alzheimer's, being correlated, I'm going to say, to statin usage? That's challenging. That's challenging. So, I don't, I definitely, as a coach, would not recommend, so certainly statins, and your doctor may tell you to go on a statin. And I will just tell you that I would never take one. I don't care what my cholesterol is. And then George is saying, I used to have terrible IBS, gas, bloating, and constipation. Same here, George. Since eliminating fiber, those things are just a painful memory. I can enjoy going to the theater again now. I was the person who was sitting in the bathroom for hours, just like crying on the toilet, trying to go to the bathroom. It was bad. It was really bad. I had IBS with constipation, and it was very, very painful and a struggle, and it caused other kinds of issues as well. And so, that IBS is no joke. Whether you're dealing with IBS with diarrhea or IBS with constipation, it's no joke. It's really, really not fun to deal with. All right. So how do I know if it's working? How do I know if it's working? Well, I will say this. What were your symptoms that you had? I knew it was working. I started in February. In March, April, May, springtime starts rolling around, and I'm looking at everybody with their seasonal allergies. Like, wait a minute. Isn't this like is it hay fever in the spring? I don't know. I think hay fever was in the fall. But I had allergies, y'all. Every season, every single season. And basically, I realized everybody was walking around with postnasal drip, their noses were running, eyes itching, ears itching, throats, scratchy throats, all this crazy stuff was going on. And I'm looking at them like, wait a minute, I haven't taken an allergy pill at all. And I was the big Costco size allergy pill person. I took allergy pills twice a day, every single day of the year, because I had terrible, terrible allergies. And so that went away the first spring. I was so shocked. Like, that was something that I could not believe happened. I was not expecting that. It was unbelievable. And then started realizing that I'm having issues. I wanted to try to incorporate back some things in. I wanted to incorporate some plants back in. Come to find out, the plants were the problem. And all this eczema, blistering, and all of the around my eyes and all of that stuff. Two things were an issue for me. One was the dairy, which I cannot tolerate dairy. I can do a little bit of butter, and but no heavy cream, no sour cream, no cheese. And wow, really, really loved cheese. I mean, cheese was my jam. I loved it. But I don't eat cheese anymore because it causes my hands to blister, and it also causes my eczema to start to flare up on my face. So those were the things that told me that this was working. As I mentioned, I lost 20 pounds within the first 3 months, and then I didn't lose a lot of weight. I mean, it kind of has been coming off slowly over the years. Actually, now I'm getting up to 3 years, and it's been coming off slowly. But the size that I am is like nice. I like it. I feel good about it, even though my goal weight is probably about 5 pounds from where I'm at. It doesn't matter. I still feel great. I feel like I look good in my clothes, and I'm really grateful for that. MBTI. What MBTI? I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm not sure what MBTI, you know, basically. Oh, Myers-Briggs type indicator. Is that what you're talking about? Myers-Briggs type? Hmm. I don't know. I've never taken a Myers-Briggs test. Um, I took another different test. Can't think of the name of it right here in the moment, but my my highest score was with communicator. I was a communicator and a relator, meaning that I like to be around people that I know, and that is true. So anyway, so George is saying that statins first appeared on the market in 1987. Up until then, the human race was deficient of statins. Exactly. Yeah, we were statin deficient. How do we survive as a species? Statins are a $1 trillion industry. Dealers, not healers. Statins are a $1 trillion industry. You better believe it. I did a Carnivorous Grandma Speaks on that topic, maybe about within the last year, because it is very problematic that, you start to see those the cholesterol levels going down as they start increasing the requirement for people to be on a statin. And so it's a huge problem. All right. Is this sustainable long term? So give me a thumbs up in the chat if you have been a carnivore for longer than a year. Um, so, yes, I'm going to say absolutely. It is absolutely sustainable, but you got to do the thing. You got to do it, right? So if you're still cheating, and y'all know I was on keto 10 years, 5 years keto, 5 years Cheeto. I do not cheat on my carnivore way of eating. I don't cheat. And so, yes, it is sustainable. When you are cheating, however, it becomes less so. You're having a hard time staying on it because your carb cravings are up. Your body is craving sugar. And so I'm not really craving sugar because I'm not having any sugar, right? And so that is what the challenge is to do it the way it is supposed to be done, right? And so, and there are people I think about Maggie, Rancher Maggie. I have not interviewed her yet, but I would love to. She's in the Healing Humanity documentary that Carrie Mann is doing, and she has been a carnivore for over 60 years. Like, if that's not sustainable, I don't know what is. That is sustainable. You got a lot of people out here who've been doing carnivore for a very long time. I just interviewed Dr. Sean Baker last Tuesday. If you guys have not watched that video, go and check it out. It's really good. The interview with him, and he's been carnivore since 2016, so 10 years. And like I said at the beginning, I still feel like a newbie. I'm just only 3 years in, and I have no intentions of going back at all. Um, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, burned it. I don't want it. So, yeah. So when your blood sugar is stable, you're gonna have fewer cravings. You are gonna have your satiety will last longer. You will not be hungry. You'll be able to easily eat less times a day, and your energy should be steady. So when your brain is no longer chasing the glucose, then your eating becomes a lot simpler. You do not need to just stop eating the donut. Give it 30 days. Don't eat a donut or don't eat the sweets for 30 days. Go ahead and cut out everything but meat for 30 days, and you're going to see that, oh, yeah, this is really amazing. So it's not a matter of willpower because you don't really need willpower. Is anybody out here using willpower? I don't have to use willpower. I got a steak in there. I'm going to have a ribeye for dinner. And that is beautiful and satiating. I love it. All right. Yes, George, I would be happy. Happy, happy. Oh, yeah, Rick is here. Rick is the 40-year carnivore, the longest term carnivore in the US. Yes, you guys should go and check out that video that I did with Rick. He's been carnivore since I think he was about 16 years old, which is pretty incredible. Sorry, Rick, I forgot about that. Yes, check out that video with Charger Mopar. And I will say, Rick is the person that is credited with the heart attack style way of eating, frying your chicken in bacon grease or tallow or lard. Oh my gosh. Anything cooked in tallow is absolutely incredible. So thank you, Rick. I appreciate you for that heart attack style cooking because I love it. I love it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have some heart attack style chicken tomorrow. I'm rendering tallow in my oven right now. So yes, I'm excited about it. All right. So George, yes, send me an email. Let's do it. Oh, well, yeah, tomorrow. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you brought this up. I will be on Carnivore Sunday School tomorrow with the carnivore teacher and happy sexy health and good enough for you, George. So yeah, come and check us out tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern. All right. Don't worry about that scale, you guys. What do you focus on? What do you focus on? So, healing. You want to focus on healing. Eat meat until you're full, especially if you're just getting started. Eat meat, get full, eat as much as you want. Don't worry about calories or all of those. Calories is a construct anyway. And so eat as much as you need to eat to get satisfied and satiated until your body learns to burn fat for fuel. And you're going to find that you're automatically eating less times a day. Okay. So your body heals best when your food's predictable. You're going to eat meat and fat and salt and water. Your blood sugar is stable. That's what we want is stable blood sugar because we don't want our Pac-Mans. We don't want to have to send out too many Pac-Mans to tackle that blood sugar and bring it down. And then your stress hormones are low. Um, yes. So eat enough, salt your food, don't rush fasting. You don't need to start out this way of eating fasting. You will automatically fast, or you may want to do some experimentation with fasting after you have gotten through World Carnivore Month. And then don't try new foods too early. Do 90 days straight of carnivore. Let your body feel that carnivore zen. It comes in around 90 days. It's pretty amazing. When you feel it, you're going to be like, dang, I had no idea. And then stay consistent. So, couple of things before we go. Oh, let's see. Carnivore Jerry says, stop talking about it. Stop thinking about it. Stop making excuses for it. What is your why? I tell my clients, does it make you want to cry? Hmm. As in ugly cry? If your why makes you cry, that's a big enough why to keep you focused and keep you on the right path. John Morston says, I'm going to eat meat for the rest of my life. Well, you better come on with that. Um, the it is what you know isn't good for your well being. Yeah, leave it. Just leave it. George says Rick went carnivore in 1983 when I was struggling with a calorie restricted diet. I lost 28 pounds on a 5-2 diet, but couldn't keep it off. On carnivore, I've lost 120 pounds and not putting it back. Yeah. So a lot of people lose a lot of weight. If you have a lot of weight to lose, um, you will. Don't worry. It's coming off. It's coming off. But yeah, so we're here. We're at time, you guys. I want to let you know that I will not be here next Saturday night because it is my dad's birthday and we're going to be celebrating with him. He's turning 80. Oh my God. It's hard to believe that my dad's turning 80, but he is. And so I'm very thankful to be able to go next Saturday and spend time with him. And so I will not be live next Saturday, but I will be live tomorrow at 1 o'clock for Carnivore Sunday School. I will be live Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. for Hey Sister Grow with myself and G Brown, the lifestyle changer. And I hope I answered some of your questions. If you're a new carnivore and you need somebody to support you, hold your hand, and walk you through this journey, I am here for you. I'm going to share my screen because a couple of things I want to mention to you guys before I go. share the screen right here. Okay. So, first of all, Impact 2026. You can find this on my website. The ticket sales are actually on Eventbrite, but when you go to my website, you can click on Impact. Let me see if I can get back to the beginning. Here's my site right here. Click on that. It'll take you over here. And then if you click on this, it's going to take you to Eventbrite to get your early bird tickets for Impact 2026. The dates is September 5th, 2026. It's going to be so awesome, you guys. Come in here and take a look at it. We got some great people coming. And we are still working on who's going to be our guest speakers. There's a couple people that I need to add onto here. And so, yeah, come out and be a part of Impact. And the other thing is, if you need coaching, you need somebody to help you, hold your hand, walk with you through this journey. I am a coach. So I'm happy to have you come in. Right now, I have enrollment open through the end of January. Oh my gosh. Lynn's coming. Oh my God. I didn't know that Lynn was coming. So Dr. Kiltz, Carrie, man, Lynn DeVoke. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so amazing. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm gonna have to get y'all to say something, George. You know you're gonna have to say something. Anyway, come in and be a part of my coaching group. And it is really great. If you need community, you need support, and you need a coach to help you with this transition, I am here for it. All right, you guys, that's pretty much it for the day. I'm excited about Impact. I did not know that Lynn was coming. George is like, he's bringing all the folks. So that's really, really cool. And I'm really excited. It's going to be so much fun, you guys. So, yeah, get signed up, get your tickets. All right, you guys. I will see you tomorrow, Monday, or I'll be back in a couple of weeks on a Saturday and we'll do it again. All right, you guys. Have a good one. Bye everybody.